from the city where the old bit, and Dave was all in the jewelry, and yo, we was guilty, man. Do you know what I mean? They did not, you know, yeah, we didn't stand a chance, but I still tried it because like we knew that we hadn't done, do you know what I mean? Some of them, but then at the same time, after everything, I just kind of thought like I needed to sit down and take a break from what I'm like, you know.
What was the remand like?
Remand was Belmarsh, so that was horrible. I was remanded to Belmarsh. I was like a Category A prison, and I was there at the same time as the Hatton Garden robbers, so I got cool with all of them guys. And there was loads of high profile.
What were they like?
Oh, they're cool, man. They're sound. Do you know what I mean? I was cool with some guy called Danny, and he was like super cool. He was from like Enfield, Tottenham ways anyway, so we just kind of got along. But they was treated like they was Category A prisoners, so they had to wear like red, like a red bib when they went on visits and stuff like that. But yeah, and they were saying things like, you know, because I used to say to them, look, they're making these things about it, there's shows about you and stuff like, you getting any money? And they was like, nah, I'm not getting no money and things like this. So yeah, we would speak and that, and you know, they would say things like, you know, you got just the type of things, the type of moves they would do, and you know, what other things that they're getting, that they're trying to bring to them, which has now been done. Like they've got like further arrested for other things. I think like one of them's dead, I'm sure. Like one of them had cancer when I was there, and he was basically barely living, like, you know. And yeah, there was the Grinder killer. He was, I don't know, you heard of him?
Yeah.
Who?
The Grinder killer.
What did he do? Was he killed? But...
He was killing, like, he was meeting gay people on the Grinder app.
Oh, Grinder.
Yeah. And he was killing them. But he was a vulnerable prisoner, so he was on the vulnerable side. But we used to see him, and that from our gate we can see them, the EastEnders killers, and that both of them was on the same wing. Like, so I think two people was involved in, like, there was these two EastEnders killers, and they was both on the same VP wing. And you see, like, yeah, you do see a lot of high profile prisoners there. The owner of Leica Mobile was on the same wing as me.
What did he go in for?
Can't remember.
Fraud.
Fraud?
Got 8 years for fraud.
What?
But he was like the richest, like, obviously.
Why is he off-roading?
I think it was, I don't know, you have to Google that. Like, yeah, you just Google it after that.
Yeah.
Julian Assange is in this prison right now.
Is he?
Belmarsh.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's horrible what they're doing to him.
Yeah, definitely. So what was the atmosphere in there like versus Norwich?
He's very different, man. Serious prisoners, man. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people, very sad, you know, because there was, so my cellmate at the time, so these times I was medium risk in prison. So me and my Cody was banged up, but in Belmarsh you got 3-man cells. So me and my Cody was banged up with someone that was in a murder charge. And you know, it was sad because he was going on trial. And then like one day he's just come back like, bro, they found me guilty. And then he's like, and then he's gone for sentencing. He's come back, he's like 25 years. And like, this guy's our age, man. Do you know what I mean? I was 24 at the time. 25 maybe, I don't know.
Did he do it?
I don't want to comment on that. But, you know, his thing was actually joint enterprise, which I speak a lot about. So he didn't necessarily do it, man.
It's messed up, isn't it, joint enterprise?
Exactly. He didn't do it, but he was there. Do you know what I mean? And he was found guilty with his coldies. And yeah, he got 25 years, and just seeing him come back, life lost, you know, because could you imagine like being at 25 and then you know you're coming out when you're 50 minimum. It's like, it makes you appreciate your 10, because I got 10 years basically from what I did. And I just like, wow, shit can be a lot worse, man.
Did you know you were facing 10 years when the trial was...
No.
What did you think you were going to get?
I don't know. Like, he was like, when the judge was handing down a sentence, he was like, count 1, 6 years, count 2, 6 months, count 3, 8 years, count 4, 8 months.
You're trying to work it out in your head.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, because my family and that was in the public gallery, and they was like listening to all these years be handed down. Yeah, and it was like, I think it was count 5, 10 years, count 6, 10 months, count 7, 8 years, count 8, 8 months. So it was 8 counts in total, and the months was for imitation firearm, and the years was for the actual robbery, and all in total, I don't know, it's over 20 years, do you know what I mean? But my solicitor told me that they run it concurrent to the highest sentence. So basically, the highest out of the counts was 10 years. So everything runs concurrent to that, if that makes sense. So you just do 10 years. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I was like, the judge's remarks was like, oh, you're 25 right now. You're going to come out when you're more mature. Hopefully you would have figured the shit out, basically. And then I just knew in my head that it was like, I'm coming out when I'm 30. Do you know what I mean?
How did that make you feel?
Oh, I can't lie, I was devastated, man. But I just knew I had to do time, man. But I was hoping on maybe 8 years, D4, maybe come out when I'm like 28-ish, you know, still got my 20s. Do you know what I mean? But because I'd never had a birthday or Christmas outside.
In your 20s?
In my 20s, yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, bro, I was like, yeah, I'm coming out. And you know, when you're 24, at the time I was 25, I got arrested at 24. 30 just sounds like so old. Yeah, it does, isn't it? Like, it sounds so old. I'm 31 now. And it's like, you know, 30 is the new 20, man. Do you know what I mean?
It's good fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love my 30s.
Yeah. So,
Can you remember yours?
That was way back.
My 30s were mostly in prison.
Oh, shit, yeah.
How old were you when you went into
33.
my age?
Mm-hmm.
And how old were you when you got out? 40?
39, 40. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, you should. Glad you're out for your 30s then, not that way around.
Yeah, exactly.
So where were we?
Belmarsh.
Oh yeah, Belmarsh. Yeah, so I landed in Belmarsh and
3 people in the cell.
Oh, 3 people in the cell, yeah. And yeah, man, I saw my friend come back with a life sentence, and that was like, that's when reality kind of hits you. And like, just knowing that these people are about to, like, for this lifestyle, people are spending the rest of their life in, and then you see things like them lose their friends, like, so they're not able to get help from the outside. People are kind of forgetting about them, and you've basically given your life for this thing, for the roads or whatever. And I just kind of like started to see through everything, like the road life. It was like, and I was seeing like kids, you know, 18-year-olds come in, murder sentences, you know, and when you get a murder sentence, you have to do all of the sentence. Do you know what I mean? And I just got a real insight into like where things end up going if you stay on this path, kind of thing.
How long did it take into that sentence for you to start to get the insight?
That was straight away, because Belmarsh was my first. I spent like a year and change in Belmarsh, so that was my first. I was in Thameside for like a few weeks, and then from Thameside went to the Old Bailey, and from the Old Bailey you go to Belmarsh. That's the local prison from the Old Bailey. So yeah, when I went to Belmarsh, yeah, I was just seeing some people's situations, and it was just, yeah, it was horrible, man. So
you'd say it was the wake-up call you needed?
Yeah, I would say it was definitely a wake-up call, because, you know, people from my area, like people that were just like me, you know, you go on the road, you have your little gang beefs or whatever, and it is serious, like your friends die and you feel like you need to do something about it. But it's like, yo, when you get caught and you're having to sit down for life, it's just a different thing, man. I'm seeing people snitch, like, you know, I'm seeing like my cellmate, for example, he had 6 cold Ds and 2 of them ended up snitching. And one of them that snitched, like, because they had the story, yeah, with like the main guy, he wrote up the story, the alibi, gave the message over in church, like, this is the story, whatever, because his cold Ds was on other wings. And then they went to court, and then one of the guys like brought the letter to court, like, yo, this is their story, this is their alibi. He'd given it to me to, do you know what I mean? I wasn't involved. So he just straight snitched, and he ended up getting a life sentence anyways. So he snitched and ended up getting life sentence under joint enterprise.
Snitches get stitches.
And he got cut as well straight away. Yeah. When he came back, they saw each other on the walkway, and he got cut in his face straight away.
Literally. Wow.
Yeah.
What other acts of violence did you see in Belmarsh?
Do you know what? Belmarsh is like so high security, yeah. They are quick, man. Like, they're quick, like, when it comes to responding to violence. Do you know what I mean? So Belmarsh wasn't really Belmarsh wasn't really where I saw most of the violence, but a lot of people got battered in cells. I saw a few hot waters, a few cuttings, but like, you know, they stopped. So there was like someone got cut with a tuna can, and then they started doing something where you have to open your can at where the servery is and then leave your, so there's only, they didn't sell can openers or nothing like that. You had to go to the servery, get it opened, and then throw your can away at the bin over there. And then they started doing things like, if you use the razor, you have to use your ID, you get a prison ID. Give them your ID, they'll give you a razor to shave. When you finish shaving, before you can get your ID back, you need to give in the razor, because a lot of people get the razor, break it up and turn it into a shank.
Of course.
So they was really on it, man. And if a fight broke out, they'll be on the wing 30 seconds, man, like with the big dogs and that, you know. They got like these big Alsatians, German Shepherds, and they react really quick, man. Do you know what I mean?
They don't muck about.
They don't play about, man, in Belmarsh. A lot of the violence comes from the prison officers.
In what way?
Like, they'll batter you, man. They'll batter you. Like, you see the geezer that had chopped off Lee Rigby's head?
Oh, yeah.
He got battered by the officers in there. He lost all
Knocked
his teeth.
his teeth out and everything.
Yeah, he lost all his teeth. He got battered in the block. There was a time when one of the senior officers was banging everyone up, but he's got an attitude problem. He's on a power trip. I think he was in the Iraq War or something like that. He's one of these officers, and then he's telling this kid's like 18 years old. He's like, oh, he's saying in a disrespectful way, like, get behind your door. And the kid's like, yeah, but why do you have to speak to me like that? And he's like, get behind your door. And everyone's like watching it. Do you know what I mean? So this kid feels the need to like bang out. So the kid, like, and this kid's small, he's tiny, and the officer's like big and built. So the kid throws a punch. He quickly gets put down. Obviously they press a button and then all the screws run on. So they've got him in a star shape where they've got his legs touching his bum and his arms behind his back. So he's just fully contained, yeah. And then the SO was just grabbing his head and just smashing it off the floor, like kept banging repeatedly. And no one could really do anything about it because there's so many officers. And then when you, if say you complain about that shit, nothing happens, you know. The CCTV is not working, like all of these things. So yeah, they do, like, a lot of the violence comes from officers in prison.
They say that about Cat A prisons, don't they? They're generally less fights.
Because the consequences are more severe, because it's the more serious.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's more serious.
I would say in the higher securities, the violence is worse, but it's less often.
Yeah.
But when it does happen, it happens. Like, when the Cat C's, like, you get fights all the time, break out. But it's like, you know, someone got punched up, someone probably got maybe cut or something like that. But in the high securities, it's like someone's been stabbed the fuck up, like, you know what I mean? He's been stabbed up, or he's been chopped up, or like he's been tortured there for hours, kind of thing. Like, it does get really bad in the high securities. So I got 10 years and I ended up in high securities.
So in Norwich then, you said you had to get your hustle on to get by because you didn't have anyone supporting you. You've had your epiphany now this time around about that lifestyle. Do you still feel you got to get some kind of in the mix somewhat to get by, or did you?
Yeah, I had to, man.
Yeah.
That's why I was in the mix of things, man. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm spending the next 5 years here in prison. No one's supporting you. You need to support yourself, kind of thing.
Was that a lot harder though in the Cat A's?
Nah, because because you see, Cat A's, yeah, you got like, not. I wasn't in Cat A's, so I was in Belmarsh. That was a Cat A, but when I got sentenced, I was sent to a Category B, and everyone with 10 years and over goes to Category B. That's like the cut-off point, 10 and over. And I actually had the smaller sentence in there. Do you know what I mean? Everyone else is doing like big ones.
Which prison was this?
So Dovegate was the first one I went to. Dovegate's in Staffordshire. Private prison, which was decent. But a lot of people either doing life, IPP, or just big drug dealers, big sentences, kind of thing. And yeah, in those prisons, it's like that's where you'd find the officers that was bringing in packs and stuff like that. And there was a lot of like parcels coming over, and there's a lot of money to be made from there. And because I'd say, because people had been in prison for a long time, that you make a lot of money in prison. So everyone kind of had money, you know, like, so it wouldn't be hard to sell something. Say you wanted to sell something for a few grand, like the money would be in straight away, kind of thing, you know.
Wow.
Because phones were going for like 1,000, 1,500 for a phone. Some cases like $2,000 if it was scarce, like, and people have the money to pay it. Do you know what I mean? The money outside.
So is it going from street to street, the money? Like outside person to outside person? Like if your IOU, my girlfriend outside gives it your girlfriend outside, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or usually no one meets anyone. It's just bank accounts. Like, you know, you send, like, give me the account details, send the money. When I get the confirmation it's in, you get whatever you wanted, like whatever you ordered. If it was a phone or tobacco, because tobacco got made illegal, so that was kind of on the black market. Weed, whatever. Things like that.
Was Dovegate, you said?
Dovegate,
was that quite a violent place?
Yeah. It was violent. There was definitely violence there. Stabbings. Someone had like a weight thrown on their leg and it snapped, like in the gym, like their thigh bone, and it was like a 20k disc, like a 20 kg disc. Yeah, it was kind of mad. But yeah, there was a bit of violence there. But like I say, in these prisons, like, because people had, like, a lot of people doing life, a lot of people on, like, can't really see the end of the tunnel. So, like, they ain't really got much to lose, do you know what I mean? But everyone's very respectful, you know? If you're a respectful person, everyone's got to live there together. We're all doing a long time. Everyone's very respectful. There's a lot of morals, a lot of respect in these prisons. But it's like when it does go off, someone's done the wrong thing. It really does go off. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, there was a bit of violence there. But I wouldn't say, I would say the worst prison for violence was Doncaster, when I went to Doncaster. And I had been security moved out of Dovegate to Doncaster. And a lot went on there.
What, like?
Was it a bad atmosphere when you got there?
Yeah, man. It was like, got to Doncaster and it was like, I remember, because I was in the block before then. I was in the block for like 3 months and change. And then they had shipped me out from there to go to Doncaster. And when I was in Doncaster, I landed there, and this is way up north here, coming out from London. And I remember hearing out the window, like, I thought it was the first night I came there, yeah, it was like people window worrying, like they're having arguments out of the window. And then this one guy was like, I heard one guy shout out the window, you're fat, you're this, and you're black. Do you know what I mean? And he said it so brazen, but where I prison that I come from, you could never say that and get away with it. Like, you'd be in trouble the next day, mate. But it was just normally said out the window. So I was like, right, I'm out of my element here. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then the next day, come out of my cell, and I just saw like 4 guys bounce on the wing, not from this wing. They just came in the wing, saw someone they had beef with, like, and they all stabbed him up and then walked off the wing. Like, so the screw let them on and let them off the wing.
Wow.
So it was kind of like, that jail was definitely run by prisoners. A lot of stabbings were happening that wasn't going nowhere because it was so violent that I think if the governor reported everything, then you'd get shut down or something like that, do you know what I mean? But everything used to go under the radar unless somebody actually snitched and said, oh, well, he stabbed me up, which no one's doing. Like, there was a lot of violence, a lot of stabbings.
Were you not scared that you would get stabbed?
Not necessarily, because like, I was already seasoned, man. Do you know what I mean? And I'd got involved in a lot of shit in that prison. I got down like straight away. Like, I can't really go into all of that stuff here, but yeah, I got down straight away. So it was like straight away after a bit of work, like I wasn't, like, I had respect in it. Do you know what I mean? Like, people talk to me. Do you know what I mean? And I was, putting in a bit of work. And, you know, at this point, because I'd been in prison for a while, I think I'd been three years deep into my sentence. I had like what's called a gigajuke. And it's like you can save music onto this stereo. This is a stereo that goes for like 2-3 grand. Like, it's hard to get. They've banned it in loads of prisons. And I had like a DVD player that also stores like videos in it. So I had all the box sets, like The Powers, Breaking Bad, all of these things in it. And like, you know, I knew I would have been a target coming with these things. And you could only get them from high security prisons. But because I was moved to Doncaster, which is a remand prison, you know, not a lot of people had these types of things. So I knew that I would be a target, especially because I got a phone straight away. But yeah, it was because situation happened with the phone, and I had to kind of get down, and then I think that's where I kind of got a bit of respect there. But I got my nose broken in that prison, you know. So it goes off, but that was just like a one-off, like. And then what happened after that? Something happened, which I can't really talk about, and then I got security moved from that prison. And they sent me to another prison called Loudon Grange it's another BCAT in Nottingham. And then there was a bit of violence there, but it was better living. I met loads of friends there and everything like this. And that was all right as well. It wasn't too bad. A lot of people, like I say, doing a long time doing life. So, yeah.
Going back a bit then, you said you did 3 or 4 months in the block at one point, 2 prisons back.
Yeah.
Why did you ended up in the block?
So there was an officer bringing in parcels, and one day I was with a few of my friends in healthcare, you know, because I had a bit of tobacco and I was giving some to my friend, and we met up in healthcare. So I'd be like, yeah, I'm going healthcare, you go healthcare, I'll give you some tobacco or whatever. And then from the window, I'd seen like one of the people that was kind of involved with it getting marched off in handcuffs. Then I seen another person that was involved in it getting marched off. And then while I was in healthcare, I'm watching all this from healthcare. And then they've opened the door, healthcare, they've called my name. They're like, come out. But these times I had the pack on me. So I kind of like, just kind of flicked it out behind me. My Cody picked it up. And yeah, they put me in handcuffs. They like bend your head down. So like you're kind of walking like that, like with your head down, your hands handcuffed. And they walk you to the block. And the governor of security was like, what's going on? Like, tell us what's happening, basically. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I might smoke weed now and again, but like, I'm a consumer. Do you know what I mean? I'm not involved. And yeah, they ended up, the girl that was bringing in parcels, she ended up getting like 3 years, 4 months. She ended up getting in trouble. They couldn't really link me to it because I wasn't directly dealing with the girl. Do you know what I mean? And he was like, the governor of security was like, you're gonna spend Christmas down there. Because I thought like I was probably be here for a few weeks. And yeah, ended up spending 3 months and change down there, coming out like about 2 stone lighter. Do you know what I mean? It was bad because there was people that was like, going on visits, getting parcels, getting nicked, going blocked, doing their like 21 days CC, going back to the wings and coming back, and then I would still be there in the block. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What is the block like?
So it's like you get nothing. It's just like a bed. And I think after a certain amount of time they give you a radio, but I never got a radio. So not in the prison I was in, they don't give radios. It was just straight. You could get a newspaper, like an old newspaper, probably do Sudokus or whatever. Sudokus, yeah. They'll allow you to go and get a book, read books in the library and stuff like that, but you get nothing else.
How did you pass your time?
So every time someone came down to the block, we'd speak out of the window. But yeah, you're literally 23 and a half hours a day, you're in the cell.
Doing push-ups or anything?
Yeah, a bit of push-ups. Because that's what that Bronson does, isn't it? He spends a lot of time working out in the block. But I was just waiting for my boss to take me out of there because they told me it's going to be a security move. They're not going to allow you back in the prison because obviously there'd been like corruption of staff or whatever. So I knew it was going to be, I was just waiting for a boss, but no bosses. Some of the prisons don't like to take people from the block, so they would swap one of their blocks for one of our blocks kind of thing. So they would wait for so I was waiting for a long time. Do you know what I mean? And then they review you every like 28 days or every 14 days. You see like a healthcare nurse, and they assess your mental state. But it don't matter how bad your state is, that you're staying down there. Like I was hearing people get battered down there, people screaming because the officers will just come in. Because people can't take the block, they're kicking at the door, they're going mad, they're screaming, they're doing anything because they're just going insane. Because you're like 23 and a half hours, you're just in your cell with nothing, just a bed. Do you know what I mean?
Did you read any books or anything?
Yeah, loads of books, man.
What sort of ones?
What are they called now? Like crime books. I read the Bible, just books. I was going through books like nothing. I was just going through books. And then eventually after like a month, it just becomes normal. Do you know what I mean? And when you get released from the block, it's like you're getting released out of prison. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah. It's a prison within a prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, got released out of the block and then didn't get released, got transferred from the block to Doncaster. Then after Doncaster, went to Loudon Grange. And that was like another B cat, and which was decent, there was Loudon Grange was quite bad because no, that wasn't Loudon, that was Dovegate. Dovegate, like there was times where I'd go to church and like while I'm in the line, security will come and grab me out of the line, take me to reception, strip search me before I go into church and to worship and that, do you know what I mean? So that was quite bad. Like the security is quite high there. But yeah, Loudon was all right. You know, just prison, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like obviously a lot of fights go on. Like you meet some friends, things like this. And then the last thing that happened in Loudon was, well, I kind of moved from Loudon because, like I said, like every year you go for a category review to see if you can go from B cat to C cat, and I never ever got